Next, on The Boardroom. Lisa Devereaux presents her product, the Liscaro Scarf, in hopes of finding an investor.
We're truly revolutionizing the way women wear scarves. It's easy to do. We have, our genius of this is our elasticized eye. So a woman never ever has to know how to tie a scarf. All you do is thread it through and it stays wherever you put it. You can do a plethora of options. And the best thing for most women is it's a fantastic headband. It'll never give you a headache. You cinch it down and it fits your head, which I'm convinced that all headbands are made for 4th graders because that's just the way they are. Or I have a fat head, which could be a combination of the two. The versatility of the product has made people say, why didn't I think of that? And I hear that all the time. I'm like, because I did. Another fun option that everyone loves, we call this our Jackie Oh My God look. Because all you do is take it over, thread it through, wrap it around, hop in your convertible, whatever you need to do. It can be worn as a belt. It can be worn as a hat band. Again, the versatility of the product is like getting 8-10 accessories in one, which our customers like. We have currently for the Liscaro, which right now we just sold Dillard's department stores 2 weeks ago, which that was exciting. This is for our major retailers, our high-end boutiques. My goal is to get funding and advice on how to. I need to expand this, even with a provisional patent and a patent pending status with the product. People are going to steal my idea. I know they are, and short of threatening them with bodily harm, I want to saturate the market myself. I have 3 different lines that I want to put together. One is for mass merchandisers, for Target, Walmart, again, the mass merchandisers. We have the Liscaro for our midline, and then I have Serendipity Scarf, because you just never know. For our high end, we have interest from Neiman Marcus right now and Nordstrom. But again, getting the right product to the right buyer at the right time is very, very difficult to do. I also have a brand new product, which I will show you that we just launched at market. And it's based on this same function as our Liscaro. And this I call the Riviera Wrap. Again, everything is multi-purpose that I create. I really should take this off because it doesn't look nearly as cute with all these colors going on. And we want it to look cute. I've had so much fun with this product. I have representation in Dallas market, and I just recently hired a rep in Minneapolis. I have one in Seattle and one in Los Angeles. This is the Riviera Wrap. It's a fabulous lightweight cape, hands-free, no big knot, and all you do is thread it through. And women love this. There's obviously a plethora of options on how to do that. It's terrific for the resort market, which is what I really want to break into with this product. And again, all you do is thread it through. Wear it as a bathing suit cover-up, and then you can also take it down and wear it as a wrap. This just blew out at market. We're already having terrific reorders on this product. And again, right now, I am in about 60 high-end boutiques all over the United States. QVC, and this is one thing other entrepreneurs will run into. I hired a publicist in New York last fall, paid her thousands of dollars. I have it in writing that I was confirmed on the Today Show, Good Morning America, Rachel Ray, Wendy Williams, Nate Berkus. I had 5,600 units at QVC. They needed me to have about 6,500 units in order for a 4th quarter airing. Long story short, I pulled all the inventory from QVC in order to make sure that I could fulfill the orders coming in from my confirmations on these morning shows. And somehow, every one of them were canceled, rescheduled, whatever. So I operate my business out of my 4-bedroom house because it's just me, and I don't mind living in my office. Keeps my overhead down, and it works that way. But right now, I have 6,000 pieces of product in 4 patterns sitting in right now. And of course, I had anticipated that income to carry me through, to buy more fabric, to generate more sales, to go into all these other markets. And I need some help in how to get to that next level. I need some additional funding to get to the next level. The response we've had from both products has been phenomenal, and I want an extensive marketing campaign. I want to kick up my quality a notch on that. And also, being on QVC for 20 years, I think both products, I think a DRTV spot, which some of you might know, a DRTV spot is called a direct response television. It's a 120-second spot. I'm getting ready to send my stuff out. A friend of a friend is very good friends with Lisa Gibbons. I think we could get into Guthrie Rinker pretty easily. But I also know, being in television for as long as I've been in, I can produce the spot myself. I can do the media buy. I can hire people to do the media buy. I think the only objection, or the only obstacle that I have to overcome, is people cannot look at my scarf and imagine all that it can do until you show them. And once you show them, they're like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? It happens all the time. And I know, and fourth quarter is going to be critical for me and for the success of my company this year. Again, we just sold Dillard's. They're buying for holiday and for spring. I also have verbal okay from Chico's, and they want to put us in their spring 2013 line. So that's very exciting. But you have to have money to buy all the fabric to get it done. And then the other issue I have with Chico's, they're like, well, will you do, certain Pantone colors? Will you do? They want us to do custom colors for them, custom prints. It takes a lot of money. And then they want to do a test, which is totally understandable. I would want that too. But to do custom coloring, I have to buy, typically it's 3,000 yard minimum per color. I can pay a premium and buy 1,000 yards, or if I have 500 yards. But if they're only going to buy, a few hundred units of each color, what I net out of the fabric, it doesn't make fiscal sense for me to do that. But I don't want to give up the opportunity to be in Chico's. I'm not big enough to be in Chico's, but they love my product, so what do I do? Those are the situations that I'm dealing with. I'm trying to think there's one. Oh, and again, I really think the DRTV spot is critical for this, and I would, again, market that under a completely different name so I don't compete with all of my retailers. Obviously, they don't want any more competition on television. My margins are fantastic. All my QVC product is manufactured in Egypt. We have a fair trade agreement with them. It was very cost effective to move there. I brought it over here, and I was paying $2.85 for a completed shipped FOB New York product, and I almost am embarrassed to say it, but I sell them for $29. So, and of course that is to my retailers on my website. My wholesale price to QVC is around $12. My wholesale price for my line, and of course depending on the fabric and the cost, they range from $9 to $14 for the wholesale price point, and that's for Liscaro.
Say that again.
$9 to $14 is my current wholesale price. Our initial orders are 24 units, and that includes it. With that, they get an instructional video. They get me, and we're, every order is around $250, $300, and then but then QVCs are 60,000. So there's, my first order was $240, and my second order was $66,000. So I went, holy cannoli. But I really want to keep my branding. I really want to keep, especially my higher end line, made in America. I have manufacturing in New York, in Brooklyn, and also in San Francisco currently. I have tried to find manufacturing in Dallas, and we're so far apart on price. I just couldn't do it. And I was really trying to support my local economy. I looked everywhere, and hopefully maybe I can find somebody here right now, because the logistics of having manufacturing done on both coasts of me stuck in the middle. I moved here from San Francisco. You know, it's a little tough. I get product in. If something's wrong with it, then I had to take it and ship it all the way back. If it were local, I could run down and make sure that everything's going right and keep an eye on things. Right now, I have to trust everyone else. So I'm looking for funding for the DRTV spot. I'm looking for funding to expand the line so I can saturate all the markets before somebody else does. And then I have to hire an attorney to go and defend the patent and do cease and desist letters, and you spend an awful lot of money doing it. So I want to make sure I knock myself off before anyone else has a chance. And that's where I am.
Can you talk more about numbers and where you are now? How much sales are you making? What kind of profit are you making?
Well, I just did market in March. We did approximately $7,000 in sales, $7,600 in sales. Reorders from that have been about the same, and that's only been in the last 9 weeks or 7 weeks. We have market starting again tomorrow, so I know after, and it runs tomorrow through Sunday. So after I get that done again, I'm with Roseanne Saginaw, represented at Dallas Market.
What were your sales for last year?
For last year, including QVC, was 166,000.
And
Without QVC.
Without QVC, approximately 38, right in there.
And what was your profit?
My profit was, again,
Minus
it's kind
what?
of embarrassing. Well, on the 166,000, or on the 166,000 from QVC, my profit was 111.
You're talking gross profits. You're not talking profit.
What's your margin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I mean, as far as my net profit off just QVC was 111,000 out of 160,000 sales.
That's not net. You need some education. That didn't
Well, the cost
account
of the
for
product.
The cost of your time or anybody else's time or effort.
Well, I'm the only one doing
That
it.
was the difference between what the product cost you and what you collected for it.
I understand
That
that.
is not net profit. That's gross profit. Thank you.
Well, after I paid all my expenses, I netted 111 on the 160. So that isn't paying me. You're right. That is not paying me. And I pay myself about $5,000 a month.
And how much are you looking for?
Well, I'd like $1 million. 300,000 would be great. 100,000 will get me started.
What do you want for 100,000?
For 100,000,
How much of your company do you want to give up for 100,000?
well, I guess you guys could make me an offer on that.
I don't like negotiating it with myself. You know, an investor is going to want to know what you're wanting first.
Well, for $100,000, I think 30% would be very generous.
And how would you, how are you calculating your valuation to come up with 30%? You're saying the business is worth $350,000?
Approximately, I currently have, again, about $100,000 in inventory that is paid for and sitting in my, sitting in inventory right now.
At your cost or retail?
I'm sorry, that is retail. Yes, sir.
And at your cost, that's 10,000.
18,000.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, those are my beginning questions. Who would like to start the question sessions? John?
Lisa, what do you see as your two biggest challenges?
Not being properly capitalized in order to be able to go out, and I need a staff. I'm doing everything myself. Everything from sourcing, of course, managing the manufacturing. I'm doing all the shipping, all the invoicing. I do everything. I'm I have an accountant. I need an attorney. My office has, stacks of papers on it. I need funding. I need staff. I need some support. My best effort for the company is to be out doing sales, and it's not to be doing invoicing and answering the phone and doing that. I need some support staff. I just have not let go of that money yet to find someone to fund that particular staff support at this point. And I don't need that much because I have I have the manufacturing in place. There's always a couple little issues, but nothing that anyone wouldn't expect. But I need some staff support.
How easy or difficult would it be to get back into QVC?
Oh, they just contacted me last week. But I don't want to put the existing product that we've already have shown for 16 months. I want to put new product in. They're still willing to, they called me last week and said, what about going back on and bringing that, and how much of the inventory do you have left? And I told them I have approximately 5,000 units, and I'm waiting to hear them. Planning is the big dog at QVC, and planning is the all-knowing. They dictate what goes on and when it goes on.
Could you sell the inventory you currently have?
To QVC?
Yeah.
That's my goal. I told them I would send it back, and they said, well, typically we don't do that with an RTV, which is a return to vendor. But typically a return to vendor is because you had poor sales, poor manufacturing, there's something wrong with the product. That was not the case, other than they had ordered $60,000 worth of product, and they had it sitting there, and they weren't giving us an opportunity to go on the air to sell the product. And I can't afford to have those kind of numbers. And that was $60,000 at my cost. It's $150,000 at retail. In order to get a fourth quarter airing on QVC, you have to have at least $200,000 of inventory there ready to go on, or they won't put you on. And I had sold down to a threshold. They went on the air without me one time, and what was sold during that hour put me just below the threshold to qualify for a fourth quarter airing. And I said, but you can't just hold my merchandise. And my buyer was awesome. She said, Lisa, I know, I'm so sorry, it's out of my hands, but we will return it to you and we will pay the freight. And QVC has never done that. But right now they will take the product back. I'm just waiting to find out if it's going to be the product that was returned to me or if it's going to be new product.
Lisa, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
When will you know that?
I was supposed to have known it last week. I contacted her, and so I will probably be in contact with them this week to follow up.
You said something that you're going to be changing the branding.
Yes, sir. I want to have 3 completely separate, actually 4 lines, including a DRTV spot.
Why?
Because Nordstrom isn't going to sell the same thing that Target is. I want a different name, different branding, same concept. It'll be different quality fabric. It'll be the exact same quality manufacturing. And again, Target and Nordstrom and Neiman's and Dillard's are not going to all sell the same product. And that way I can get in there without upsetting my existing clients.
Have you chosen those other names yet? And
Yes, sir.
And are they protected?
They're in the process of being protected as we speak.
What do you mean by protected?
Trademark for the name. And we have taglines with each one. The serendipity scarf, if anyone knows, hopefully you know what serendipity means. The tagline will be, because you just never know. With Liscaro, it's all you do is thread it through, which I would really like to keep that with everything, but I can't. And then our mass merchandising line will be the GG scarf. Cute, fun, light, a much different look than some of our other branding. This one will be going to Nordstrom.
I do have a question. How about internet? I'm really big on the internet. Have you targeted your social media, your internet? What's the website? What are you doing with your website?
The website is liscaro.com. We I've been concentrating so much on taking care of all my wholesale accounts. I haven't had the time because it's just me to do everything. I did go to Amazon.com recently. I went through the entire thing, made up the whole account, and then they denied our pictures because it had a person or a mannequin in it. And if you Google scarf on Amazon, the whole front page is nothing but mannequins. And I went in and said, "This, how can this be?" And they said they're grandfathering it in. They want it just to be a picture of the scarf. My scarf needs to be shown all the different ways it can be worn. Ooh.
That's all right. That's okay. Go ahead.
It's the whole beauty of my scarf is the versatility. And every other scarf that's out there is nothing but basically an oblong scarf.
Is your website showing that?
Yes, absolutely. And we have an instructional video.
So tell me about your website a little bit. I want to hear about that.
It's actually, I mean, it has all the different offerings. We have each scarf is put into a different category, whether it's Hollywood, the Wild Side, which of course is all of our animal prints. And I guess I don't know what to explain other than we have all the pictures. We have all of these pictures are on there. Plus, there's an instructional video on there for everyone to refer to.
Okay, instructional video how to use a scarf.
Yes.
Is it using YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Okay, so you have a YouTube channel.
I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't even know how to go about doing that.
Okay, and on your website, is it informational or is it e-commerce?
It's e-commerce.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Tell me about where you are with your patents. I didn't quite understand that.
We filed for a provisional patent and was granted that, and the follow-up to that, because that's only good for a year, is going in. My patent attorney right now is in Arlington, is working on that. Patent office is about 2 years behind from what I understand, so it could be a while before it gets granted.
And so what will it protect?
It will protect, I went in one way the first time and a different way the second time. I'm doing this as a utility patent because these are fantastic for so many more things than just being decorative. As a former interior decorator, I use them as drape tiebacks. They grate around lampshades. I rescued 2 dogs running down the side of the street and I couldn't handle them, and I reached in my car, I got a scarf and a Liscaro, and I put it around him, and I held him while I called read the tag and called their mom. I was going through Manhattan one day and my luggage broke. The handle on my, literally the handle broke in half. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I reached in, I took a scarf, I wrapped it around the leather handle that was in it, and I pulled that sucker through Manhattan with my Liscaro. But it's a utility patent that we're doing.
Which would prohibit anybody from making a scarf that has the pull through.
And also the wrap, and then I also have a new pair of pants coming out that make them completely custom and fit your body because it will have the same fastening.
And so nobody does that now?
No, sir.
Now, hold on, Jay, it's not your turn yet.
All right. I'm interested in patents here. Go ahead.
Okay.
How many people, you say you need staff?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes one person, the second person is more than just doubling your ability to do things. Have you thought through how much staff you really need?
I need one person, I need one office manager. I need somebody to be doing all the billing and make sure, the taxes are paid and the bills are paid and invoices are done. The shipments are sent out on time to my customers. We take orders at market and people will buy them now and they don't want them shipped for several weeks. I need somebody else to be on top of that.
Okay, and so you can guess how much it might cost to have someone like that. So have you done run the numbers to know how much, maybe you can already afford that. All right, so, I mean, the idea is, have you run the numbers to see what would I have to do if I have this one person? How much, maybe
I'm guessing for 30 hours a week, I pay them about $35,000 a year to get someone that can do my books, that knows QuickBooks. That's as far as I've gone.
Okay. All right. You do need to, I know this is not the
I need help. There's no
advice,
doubt. I'm here for that. Please, I know I'm not doing everything correctly.
Jay, are we skipping over you since you
And
already had your
just let me ask one
questions?
more question along the same
Go
lines.
ahead, don't
Do you
rush
have a, he's a tough guy, he can tell you. Do you have you have someone who's been a mentor for you, someone who's just maybe just a friend that you bounce ideas off of, that's sort of been there, done that?
Nobody. Everybody I know works an 8-to-5 job and works for IBM, and and people in the television business and my friends that are news anchors and all of that, they're, no help in this particular area.
Interns.
I'm sorry?
Interns, colleges, high
That
school
would be an
kids.
advice.
Yeah.
I was thinking about an intern. I'm just concerned about putting an intern or college student in charge of my money. That's my biggest concern. Oh, thank you.
Don't want to rush you, Mike.
Oh, no. Tom's off to you.
Okay, how much have you paid your patent attorney to date?
Nothing, because he used to be my ex-fiance and he cheated on me, so he works for free. And that was 25 years ago, baby. He's still paying for that problem.
Okay, we've covered that.
There you go.
What,
It's the truth.
what do you know about patents?
Well, probably clearly not as much as you do, but I know there's a utility patent, there's design patents, there's certain patents that fit for what I'm using, and that's why we went with the utility patent.
What happens when someone knocks you off?
I have to send cease and desist letters, and then I have to threaten them with bodily harm.
And do you understand that patent litigation
It's extraordinarily
the
expensive.
most expensive litigation probably that any attorney gets involved in?
I am acutely aware of that.
Okay, so do you understand that
Defending the patent,
protection is probably of no value to you?
it's only a value to me when large companies would do something. I know they'll eat me up. I know they'll take me. I get all that. And again, that's why I want to go out and knock myself off. That's the very reason I want to be in all the markets I want to be in and why I need the funding to do that. And if they do, they do. I'm better at it. I know my product, and everyone loves it.
So you're not relying on patents to protect what you
Heck no.
have? Okay, so as long as you understand patents are really of no value to you.
Correct. That's why I applied for the provisional patent initially, because I was initially going to license it. And then I went to Echo Scarves. It's one of the largest scarf companies in America. They saw it. They loved it. And their pricing wasn't in line with what I thought, and I didn't want to give it up because I love my product. It's fun.
You really haven't answered the question, or you, in my opinion, haven't laid out the plan that says how much money you really need. You've
Well, I
talked about
really need $1 million.
What?
I would love to have $1 million to do an international campaign, take it to Europe, brand all 3 brands, and take them everywhere.
You know what would
But I
happen?
want to be reasonable.
You know what would happen if you had $1 million?
I'd have
invariably
$1 million and $50,000.
in any startup company, the cost expands to utilize the money available. And $1 million would probably destroy your company. You're now doing 100,000 plus in sales.
And by 2014, I expect to do 1.2 million.
That's great. $1 million funding would ruin the investor and you both. But that's
Well, that's
a
based on a
little bit
$300,000, or I'm sorry, a $200,000 investment. If I had $1 million, I could probably quadruple that. If I have the wherewithal, the capital to go internationally. Women in Europe own 17.5 scarves. Women in the United States, 2, average of 2 per woman. And typically those are winter scarves. That's another thing. I'm trying to work with the American Cancer Society right now, because this is also can be worn as a turban. My mother's going through chemotherapy right now. There are so many markets for this particular product that it's scary. And I need to prioritize. I need to hit the resort market first. That needs to be my next market. I want to go to Princess Cruise Lines. all the hotels, and that is my rep in LA. That is her forte. And and I just hired her 2 weeks ago.
Have you ever thought of trying to partner up with someone that's in the market, has the distribution, and you could take a little bit off of each scarf with a huge volume?
Licensing it to a existing distributor? I've thought about it, but I see what the numbers are. I know what my margins are, and if I can do it on my own, that'd be great. I can get into distribution. That's the DRTV spot will.
How much money did you take home last year from your company?
Right at 60,000.
And this full-time job for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. David?
Well, nobody said it to you, but I will. I think you've done a very great job in coming
Thank you.
from zero in 23 months to where you're at today. I have looked at your website, and I did read your bio, and it seems like you've been doing this for quite some time. It just didn't happen over 23 months.
This product.
Yes, but you touched on a couple things. I did want to ask you some more information about the industry. You talked about 17.5 scarves in Europe, European women, and 2 in the United States. How do you define your industry? What are the revenues? What are the annual revenues?
Annual revenues
for
for the accessory market for 2011 was $34.6 billion. Scarves make up 3.74% of that. I'm sorry, I just had a little dyslexia. 7.36% of that is in scarves. Handbags.
So that's about $2 billion?
Approximately, for just scarves. And scarves went out of favor. Scarves are huge now, especially with the economy, especially with people not being able to go out and buying full ensembles. One scarf can change an entire outfit. And it's inexpensive, it's quick, and with mine, you can wear it so many different ways. It's not just one scarf that you wrap around your shoulders and that's the only way you wear it. The versatility of mine is a huge appeal to our customer base. Our target market is 25 to 64. I've got them on 8-year-olds and I've got them on 88-year-olds.
You know that $2 billion in revenues that represent the industry?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned,
that's U.S. only.
Yes. You mentioned Echo.
Yes, sir.
Are they the largest in the?
They are the largest in the United States.
And what percentage of the market do they have?
You know what? I can't answer that. I don't know I don't know how much they own. I know from what I've been told by people in the industry is that Echo is the largest. And I was developing a handbag line, and I wanted to use the scarf as an upsell, an add-on to the product to give my handbag a greater perceived value. I met with a handbag manufacturer in New York, asked him if he could do soft goods and do this, and he said, that is the coolest product I have seen in 10 years. He picked up the phone and called the owner, CEO of Echo, and said, you need to see this girl. And I was getting ready to leave to go to LaGuardia to catch a flight, and I went over and met with them before I went, and they were very impressed with it. But I was just developing it. I really wasn't in a position to be wanting to do a licensing agreement at that part because I want to do it.
Sure.
It's a great product.
So you said you just signed up Dillard's.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
And tell us a little bit about that contract and what did they commit to you to buy?
They have committed 24 units for 24 stores for a test for holiday, which will be, and that's one thing too, I'm very cognizant of prints that I design and that I choose. I want them to be year round. I don't want somebody to be locked into a season. But they're starting with holiday, and so that's going to be our velvet burnouts. That's on the higher end of our price point for our midline retailers. So it's about a $10,000 test. It's going into 24 doors, and they have 285. And then I'm supposed to be meeting with Macy's up at Stonebriar Mall, the manager of the Macy's and Galleria. He's met with me, he's seen the product, he loved it, and we had a meeting, and he's setting that up with the district manager and buyer just for this district. and they are talking about doing a test in this, but I have not met with the actual buyer, and I have no verbal commitment from Macy's, so that's why I haven't mentioned it till now. And
So-
initially, Dillard's asked for exclusivity, which I wasn't willing to get. I didn't feel like they could meet the sales thresholds that I would need for that.
So what would you expect if the test went well? What would you expect Dillard's to commit to, and how far out is that?
Well, I'll know by 2013, after the holiday sales. I'll probably know within 21 days of when they hit the stores. You know, if it's selling, I've offered myself up, I'll do trunk shows. I will go to their they call them A, B, and C doors, depending on, they call them doors, not stores, depending on the store, the volume of the store. I told them I'm happy to go in and do, I've offered everything, as much support. They will never get more vendor support than they will get from me.
Okay, last question.
Yes, sir.
Have you put together a formalized business plan?
Yes, sir. I have it on a PowerPoint, but I didn't think that we'd be able to do it. So if anyone's interested, I can certainly send it to you.
And that covers how many years?
To 2014. I projected through 2014.
Thank you.
I just have one follow-up question before we go on to the advice. So I wrote down you did 166,000. Was that just QVC?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then I wrote down that you did $111,000 profit from QVC.
Just from QVC, yes,
And then
sir.
I wrote down you had $38,000 worth of additional revenues.
From
And I didn't
website.
write down the profit there, but then you said you did $60,000 in profit, which is, if I'm doing the math right, says you lost $50,000 doing the $38,000 of extra sales, or do I have something messed up there?
No, sir. I'm sorry. You have 60,000 in,
You said just a minute ago you made 60,000 profit, take home. That's what you took home. Did that mean there was money left in the business?
oh, yes, sir. No,
Okay.
that was just my portion.
So what was the total EBITDA last year of the business?
I don't know what EBITDA means.
What did your tax return say you made profit on?
Tax return say I made profit on, I would have to go look at it. I don't know.
Okay,
My accountant did it.
no problem.
Do you private label?
Yes, sir. I offered that up to Chico's.
Is Dillard a private label?
No, sir. It's my label. But I did offer private label to Chico's because that's really their niche, and they have a lot of their own line, of their own branding. So I did offer it to them, and they said that they would consider it.
I don't know much about retail, so this may be a dumb question, but is it necessary that you would be making a deal with every one of the, you know, with Dillard's, with
Right now it is.
Well, then the gist of the question is there in your industry an intermediate vehicle, someone who does that? Who
Yes,
does
sir. That's what
exact-
my reps do, and typically they write orders for me, and then they fax them to us or
You
email
said
them
you
to
have
us.
one in Los Angeles, I think you said.
Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Seattle and LA are brand new, and then here in Dallas.
And these are independent sales reps? They're covered, by that I'm saying they're covering their own costs?
Yes, sir. They cover all their costs, and I pay them anywhere, depending on the rep and what their volume is, from 15 to 19%
So
commission.
they get a commission?
Yes, sir.
And are these, you've been a personality for a long time.
Yes, sir.
Do you have, is this something that's easy for you to find these reps because of your
No,
past?
it's not easy to find good reps. It's easy to find reps, and they'll take your samples, and then you never hear from them again. And really, are you going to drive to, Denver and try to hunt somebody down for 24 scarves? No, not really. But at last market, I met with other vendors that were there, and they gave me one woman in particular said, "Oh my gosh, Lisa, you've got to call it. They'll love it, they'll love it, they'll love it." And that's who I've hired. And my rep that I just hired in Minneapolis, his first order to me was, I don't know, $180, and then his next order was $1,104.
Okay, and why would you, if you had your choice, you'd go out to the resort market first?
This is a
Why
resort
is that?
item. It's a resort item. The Riviera wrap is a fantastic bathing suit. I just think it's something that the resort
So
market.
if you run the numbers on resort to know whether that would be
I would probably have to cut my margins because the resort market and specifically hotel gift shops, which I think would be a perfect venue for it, they're like 5 times margin. And I can't sell them something for $10. They can't sell a scarf that I have on my website for $29. They can't sell it for $50. So I have to cut my margins. But it's a huge market. And it's a year-round market.
Okay, any last questions?
Last question. Material. What is made out of?
I have everything from, well, I have primarily polyester for this price point. This is a silk chiffon that I selected the colors. I had it custom made and had it brought in from Korea. And again, I source majority of my fabrics in LA and in New York. And the fabric industry has changed significantly. People do not stock product like they used to. They don't stock goods. And so it's tough. It's tough getting enough. And then they want to reorder. You know, when they want to reorder, and if I only get my hands on 150 yards worth of something and then it's gone, it's gone. And so I try to use that to my advantage and tell people, this is select, and once it's gone, it's gone. So if you want it, you better grab it now.
Good point.
Limited edition is what we like to do.
How do you distinguish your scarf from the competition if it's just laying on a rack in a resort? Because the key to what you're selling is the concept of the loop and the.
Well, as you all each have a piece of the product, and that hang tag, that's how they're packaged and sent to each of our retailers. Oops, that was a bigger jump than I thought. I'm glad I didn't have big heels on. It could have been ugly. This is typically stapled. We don't send it stapled because they have different merchandising at different stores. Dillard's is going to be putting it on a T-stand in the middle of the store. And so we're going to come up with, of course they approve everything and come up with it. We'll have signage on top that will show the different ways to wear the product. And then they are directed to the website. And other than adding something that has drawings of, oh, you know, take it through this and do this and do that.
Your video.
This is, well, I do, and the website says for instructional video, go to our website.
Yeah, but I mean, in Dillard's.
In the stores, that's what I was.
Okay, well,
question,
here's, perfect. Many of them have it on a continuous loop on a monitor in the store, but the vendors supply that. But those are big vendors, you know, Calvin Klein and other people, they can afford to do that. Dillard's doesn't have one in every store. And so if I wanted that to happen, which would be killer, it'd be perfect, but I have to supply that. I can't have somebody buy a 24-piece order and provide, you know, a $185 monitor.
I got an idea for you, Julie.
I don't know, maybe the next presenter can.
I got it.
Okay, we have 1 more minute for any other questions. My one question is, have you pitched to investors, and how many times?
Never.
Okay. Any other questions?
I didn't want a partner. I've been trying to do it on my own. I had a partner a long time ago, and it wasn't too pretty. I did all the work, and he took the money.
Very good. Any other questions? Advice? John?
You know, Lisa, I think you've got a tiger by the tail. You know, I think one of the first things you should do is find a manufacturer who's willing to manufacture inventory and ship, so you don't have to worry about that when you get some big customers. Someone who can
That's
go
basically a
from zero.
fulfillment house. That would be manufacturers will not ship directly. I would have to have them ship to a fulfillment house, and then you generate the orders in, and there are fulfillment houses all over the United States.
I agree with John. I think you're very creative. I looked at your webpage, I looked at the video. I understood when I watched the video of how these different arrangements would be made. I don't think I would have had any clue if I hadn't seen that video. So I'd encourage you, even if it costs you some money going to Dillard's to have a display, if you have to pay for that, you're trying to prove to Dillard's you can sell your product. So even if you lose money at it, you know, you want to prove to them that it's going to fly across the counters. And I think somebody's going to have to understand how this works. Second thing is, there are lots of pros and cons about patents. I'm not a huge fan of patents for every product. Keep in mind that no patent has any more value than the product that it covers. Okay? A patent's going to be just as bad as the product that it covers, okay, in terms of being not useful. In your case, since you are not yet a design house with a big name, you are going to get ripped off if this is good. And the only way you're going to be able to stop those people is with a patent. Your former boyfriend, fiance, or whoever you choose to use should know about Track 1 examination. It just began in the patent office in the last 6 months. There's only 10,000 slots a year that they allow patent applications to be examined on this track. You will get your first office action within 6 months. It will cost you $2,400, which is a drop in the bucket in the overall scheme of things to do that. And you'll get the examination going. You might actually have a patent within a year.
Okay, I want 3 advice for you. First thing is the dealer thing. The great about the monitor, if you can't get a monitor in there, try to get 24 live models, you know, salespeople on limited time only, and say, do you want to make some good money? And get dealer okay to have each one of the dealer to have one person live standing there, talking to people, demoing, you know, the scarf, take a look at how I got it, this and that. Talk to people personally, and if any scarf is sold from that location, to get a percentage of that, give her good money. So she will be there lively, standing there doing for you for free, okay? And so give her a break, get a high school, college interns will be good, limited time only. Now you also get to pick which one of the person will be great to be a good salesperson. You say, you started, I would say, you know what, I'm gonna let you guys know, I'm looking for a sales manager. I want to see who's going to be the best. The highest sales is going to be my first, you know, option to look into. You're not promising them you're going to hire them, but you give them a chance. You go to colleges and you do that. Look for 24 live models. Gorgeous, beautiful, active, you know, outgoing girl, lively demo that scarf for you. Even like certain time of the day only, you know. Okay. So let dealer know. So between 3 and 5, I have a live model coming in. And let them know to let the customer know, and you have a piece of paper standing by your scarf. So get people to come in between 3 to 5 and jump on that scarf opportunity and see live model. Second thing I want to tell you is the internet. Take advantage of internet. YouTube is definitely have a channel. If you don't have, I could talk to you afterward. Other guys in the room could help you. Gotta have a YouTube channel. Gotta take advantage of it. Okay. YouTube is powerful, and you're very funny. The 2 story with the doggy and everything. Let that be something, videotape that with the video camcorder. Say, oh, I grabbed the doggy and I grabbed this and that. It was so funny. Put that out there. But then additional YouTube channel videos should be from other people talking about your testimonial. I love this. This is great. Utilize the internet tremendously. There are crowdfunding sites out there. The panel here support you great. If they can't support you, take advantage of crowdfunding. Look for that. The third thing I want to advise you is take a portion of your scarf and sell to high end. One of the things that back in the 80s I always say to a lot of business people, if I have a birthday present I want to buy, I would never tell you I bought it from a 99-cent store, I bought it from a Tiffany store. So if you have a high end, those movie stars will not say, I'm here in front of the red carpet with a 99-cent scarf. I paid $10,000 for this scarf. It's a high end scarf. So to have a batch of it go high end, you're going to see your money fly really fast and make good money. And there are people here from Hollywood you could talk to. There are a celebrity in the other corner, Belinda, raise your hand. She got tons of celebrities that will buy high-end scarf from you. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, I'm very impressed with you, and that's what you know, investors are really looking at. I think you've done a great job with what you have to get on QVC in such a short period of time. Being on Channel 8, I'm sure, is great for publicity and for you as well. So I'm very impressed with you. You're very well spoken. My one piece of advice, if you are going to do multiple presentations, is to have it nailed down what you want. I haven't seen your business plan, so I'm looking forward to reviewing it with you. But do, when you're presenting, know exactly what you want. Have your argument for why your valuation is correct in your head, because that's going to be the key consideration. If you did make $111,000 last year, then asking for 30% of your business for $100 grand could well be a very, very good deal. I have a good friend of mine, Rick Sarmiento, who started the White House black market, and he sold it to Chico.
They own it.
This will be this segment should be out within a week on our website, and I'm going to ask him to review it, and then you and I will get together with him, and if you pass his questions, then I am interested. For your sake, one thing that David and I are talking about doing, and it seems that entrepreneurs need this over and over, is if we make investments, we have the ability to do all the back end for you. With my main company, we already have the accountants and call centers and everything in place that we can do that, and you don't have to have a full-time person. So that's, if we make a deal, that's something I think that we could offer value to you. The disadvantage for me is that if you need somebody that's going to give you advice on scarves and getting scarves out or onto QVC, I can't help you there at all.
I can get them out. I just need help.
As long as you're not looking for help from an investor in getting you onto QVC and that type of thing, I just have nothing to offer you there. Certainly have a wealth of business advice, but yeah, I am interested, and I'm looking forward to moving on to the next stage with you.
Thank you.
I too am very impressed with what you've been able to do with basically starting with out of your own pocket and making the connections that you've made and producing the products you've made. And,
Thank you.
The whole key to those kind of things is certainly being first to market, and I agree with you all on that. As much as you can do with patents, I would leave that to those who do that better than I ever did. Although I have patents, I never made any money off patents. But they are, for someone in your position, I think they can be used as a protective vehicle, so long as you don't end up funding a bunch of lawyers to do too much work.
Exactly.
I agree with all of that. The idea of presenting your product is the whole key of selling it. You already know that.
Yes, sir.
But how can you get the leverage? You can't be in every Dillard's or every Neiman's or whatever. You can't be on every cruise ship. Cruise ship's actually pretty easy because you can put a little monitor on the cruise ship, and that's actually doable. But when you go into the major retail, you got another problem in terms of having a monitor. But don't forget, everybody's got a monitor in their pocket nowadays. You might think about an iPhone or Android app that you can make available to all the salespeople. They have all these things, and if they find a prospective person, they can pull out their thing and let me show you this. This is really cool. I mean, that's a freebie monitor for you, and you might be able to take advantage of that.
Great idea. Thank you.
Ultimately, I think the idea of using the internet is a very powerful one. If you could get this to go viral on the internet, you could go from selling 1,000 to selling 1 million just overnight. So you are not knowledgeable about that. You need to you need to link up with someone who knows how those things work. Who knows how to do that without spending large amounts of money. All the things that have gone viral with nickels and dimes, right? They have not been because they're through a publicist or something like that. And I personally don't know how things have gone viral, but there are people probably in this room who do. So you need to tap into, you need to nurture some links with people who know things that you don't know. Okay, so pick a few specific ones like that, and you'll have your go-to person. How do we do this? And they'll bring ideas to you, and these will be people who aren't necessarily looking to get paid big dollars from you. These are people who maybe they have a mechanism where they might make money out of the relationship with you, or maybe it's just because they want to see you succeed. And there's a lot of that. And you're very personable. You make it easy for people to want to make you succeed. And that's a very important part of your business, is your own personality. So I personally think that with a few good connections of people, one of which needs to be someone to help you with your numbers, with your business plan. because you need answers. Whenever Charles asks you a specific question, you kind of need to be able to know more about it from a business standpoint if you're going to get money from people, okay? And I don't know whether, when I started my business, which was a million years ago, there was SCORE. Someone here in the room was talking about SCORE a little while
That's
ago.
me. I'm the ambassador for SCORE.
Well, I'm really surprised that you don't have SCORE people offering you up help on exactly the things we're talking about, particularly the numbers side of it. So
Okay.
tap into that, but if you don't find it there, you can find it, and you need to seek that out. And when it comes time to hire that one person that makes you more than, it doesn't make you double, it makes you times 10. Be careful who it is, but don't, it's leverage you're looking for. And you need something like that for leverage, because right now it's just you. There's only so much of you to go around.
There's a lot of me, unfortunately, to go around, but whatever.
On that note, I'll hand it off to you.
Number one, you've got a business that has yet to do $250,000 a year, is that right?
Not even close. Yes, sir. You're right.
And you're talking about international sales and 17 scarves to European women. You better, there's, what, 300 million people in the U.S., and at least 50 million of those have got to be prospects. And you probably haven't sold 25,000 units since you opened the door. So quit trying to be a world marketer and get a solid plan that starts working. Number one, this is gorgeous, and they're all pretty, and they all wear those scarves delightfully. But it doesn't say a damn thing about the features that make your scarf unique. And anybody that looks at this will not see. They'll think, well, they really knew how to tie those scarves, but it'll never occur to them that there was anything unique about them. So it's not effective to sell the sustainable advantage that you offer at this moment. You've got the Dillard deal. What I would do is pick what I thought were the two best stores, and I would tell Dillard, you've ordered 24 units per store on this test for how many stores?
24.
24, and 24 units in 24 stores?
Yes, sir.
These two stores, I'm going to throw in another 200 units on consignment. And I'm going to put a video in there and knock their socks off, and I'm going to offer the gals in those stores a little spiff money. And I'm going to show you what you should be doing in all 280 stores. And I want you to agree that if we can blow the socks off of our sales in these two stores, we'll put together a package that is 144, a gross of scarves in each of your stores, and that will allow me to put this same video package and these same spiffs in each of your stores. So now you go in with some power, and you can't afford to do that for each test store, and you may not want to, but if you blow it away in two test stores and show them what they should be doing instead of what they're doing, and you pay for that part of it,
good idea.
That gives you a way to jump in and tear them up. You don't need a lot of money, and if you get a lot of money, you'll probably, like I say, the job expands to use the money available for it. We've started a lot of companies. I remember we started one for $3,000 and sold it for many millions back when that was still money, 20-some years ago. But money is not the biggest thing you need. Use what you've got. If you've got that Dillard deal and you throw $5 grand at each of two stores, then $10,000 may change your life.
Okay. Thank you.
That was short, Jay.
for me.
Yes, sir. Well, Charles touched on a couple things that I'm right in line with him. You know, as a company, we already have a lot of corporate overhead, as Charles would tell you, as an entrepreneur. But we have been, Charles and I have been talking about how we could utilize and support people like yourself, because we have an accounting department, we have a legal department, we have a call center, we have an HR department. We as a company believe that we are a marketing company. So I see some synergies there that I'm sure that we'll be talking at some point. Second point I want to reiterate, when you're talking to somebody about their money, you need to be exact what you're going to do with their money.
Okay.
Because I don't like to give people money and feel like they're going to be iffy about it. I want you to exuberant confidence back to me about how you're going to take my $300,000 and spend it and make me $1 million.
I can tell
have
you
that answer and have that business plan. And you know, you should have that business plan available to you at all times. You know, I listen to 24 scarves and Dillards, and maybe that, to me, that is kind of the slow road. And you've already, you know, you said it, you hit home runs with QVC. You know, you went from, I can't recall the numbers on revenue, but from
Nothing
$200 to $60,000. Why reinvent the wheel? Just go do more of the same. And yes, I understand it takes $200,000 of inventory, but you are what? This is May. We have June, July, August, September. When does holidays start? October. You got 5 months, and you could make just a truckload of money just focusing on one thing that you've already done, and you just need to repeat it and sell that. You need to sell the concept that if you give me $200,000 for me to go buy inventory, my strongest strength is my ability to sell. Get me in front of the TV and let me do what I do best. Okay? And so all these other things are ancillary as far as I'm concerned. Hiring people to stand in Dillard's, yes, they may sell you 10 scarves. How many scarves are you going to sell on QVC? 100? 1,000? 50,000? Okay, you want to get to that pile of money as fast as possible. And you want to stay focused. A lot of people get so sidetracked, Jay said it, worldly. Do one thing right now, do it well, make a lot of money.
That's my goal.
And that's QVC. I will tell you this, I mean, the young lady down was talking about selling high-end. You may know Neiman Marcus, their call center is in Irving, Texas. Okay, they spiff their call center people all the time to sell the add-ons. I would think that this would be a very unique add-on to sell to high-end ladies.
It is. It's perfect.
So now you have 2 minutes to just anything we said.
I do? Okay, fantastic.
2 minutes.
First of all, QVC is fine, but if they don't put you on the air, they don't care about their vendors. You can get on there, everyone thinks they're going to be a millionaire. They're not. And also, I have my business plan. I was not planning on speaking tonight, and I just found out yesterday, and I apologize for not being as prepared as I should be. Yes, I want to concentrate in the United States. As far as putting the monitors in Dillard's, I can certainly see in doing that. I also am an HSN. I just put my stuff to the rep at HSN. I cannot go on the air on HSN. I'm trying to find somebody to go on the air for me right now. If I go on the air on HSN, QVC will never let me back on the air. So I am following up on QVC, but on that direct-to-consumer deal. Trying to think of what everyone said. Yes, I agree on the patent. And yes, I bet for the broad picture from what you were talking about, the market is so huge that it's mind-boggling to me. And every time I go somewhere, they tell me, you need to do this, you need to do that, oh my gosh, you need to do this. I'm like, I know, but how do I prioritize? I want to hit the resort market. I think we would knock it out. QVC is fantastic only if they let me on the air. And you know, I was going on the air every month, like May, June, July, August, and September, and then they weren't scheduling me for fourth quarter. That was a problem. I'm at their mercy, and that's the one downside of direct-to-consumer selling. Making sure I got everybody
10
covered.
seconds left.
Okay, dang, that was a quick 2 minutes. I got a great product, and I just need some guidance, and I will knock this out of the park, and I need to cover everybody before somebody tries to knock me off and before I have to beat them, and I will.
Is your product unique?
Perfect, absolutely.
Explain it.
You're right.
Good point. I looked at it, and if this is hanging, I wouldn't have a clue.
No, it doesn't hang like that. It doesn't hang like
Then
that.
explain that it's
I know,
unique
I
where
know.
somebody knows
And
it.
I should have, you know what I also should have done? I should have had every single scarf the same when I did it so they could see that it was one scarf, because now they're looking at it. I screwed up. I made a mistake. Sue me.
Everybody give, it was Lisa, right?
Yes.
Give Lisa the hand.
If you'd like to present your business or product on the boardroom for advice and perhaps even an investment, visit www.boardroomlessons.com.